2 years ago, I was a newlywed and a college student, only a few years from graduation. The world seemed uncomplicated. Now all I can say for sure is that I'm no longer a college student, I'm no longer illusioned by new love, and I don't feel young anymore. This is the story of a group of college students, American boys, who wanted nothing to do with someone else's war. It's our story. The storm had descended on us soon after sunset, and it showed no signs of relenting. A wall of brown blotting out the sky. And just like that, the perimeter disappears. The guys sitting next to you fade into brown and turn to dust. You're alone. No war, no home, just you in the desert. Something they never tell you about war is that there's always more work than there are soldiers. Take, for instance, the Ministry of Labor. The Ministry of Labor, or MOL, was a gutted 6-story office building that recalled George Orwell's 1984. The dilapidated old building had been ravaged. Anything worth anything had been stolen, and what wasn't had been destroyed for childish pleasure. Our job was to hole up in the MOL to monitor the old chemical plant in the adjacent lot, make sure there was no WMD-related activity going on there. The MOL was a truly miserable place. The heat had turned the building into an oven, and the smell was overpowering. Bunking next to me were Pearson and Farmer. We huddled together in the blackness, repeating the same old conversation we always had to pass the time. What's up with the girl, man?
Big dog, I don't know. Girl been all weird in her letters. I think she got a new man or something. How about you?
Man, I picked a girl that can't read or some crap. Don't get letters anymore.
Well, got a long day ahead of us. Should go to bed.
Good night, Crawford. Gosh darn it! Man, I hate this place!
What is it? What happened?
It wasn't a grenade, it was just a freaking Coke can!
I hate this place. It's haunted. Let's go downstairs.
For once, I agree with you. Let's bounce. After the war, life simply wasn't the same anymore, even in the most normal of circumstances. My wife sat next to me, red hair cradling her face as she mouthed the words to a song I hadn't heard before. She looked at me and her eyes twinkled. They were hazel today. Yesterday, I had thought they were green. It all depended on her mood, I guess. She smiled and put her hand on top of mine. The vibration of the gear shift coursed like an electrical current between us as we touched, and it made my heart tingle. We were going into my hometown, a tiny speck of a city south of Jacksonville.
John freaking Crawford! How you doing, man?
What's up, Chris? Where's everyone at?
They're in the beer tent.
So, I hear you guys just got back from Europe. The beer kept coming like a horror movie villain, always right behind you. Life was good. My friends were there. My wife sat next to me, her hand resting on my thigh under the table as we smiled at everyone and laughed.
So, we spent last summer in Europe, but you know all about that. Tell me about your summer.
Summer my butt frickin' sucked.
Whatever, man. Come on. Tell us what it was like.
Yeah, man, tell us a war story.
You guys don't want to hear a war story. None of them make any sense. Maybe tomorrow. Staff Sergeant Connell was driving. The Humvees we drove in were unarmored. You could throw a rock through them if you had good enough arm. And hell, we didn't have any doors on.
Crap, he's got a freaking AK. It's stuck, I can't get it out.
Why didn't they run? most likely they didn't realize that in a tenth of a second, their bodies would be ripped apart, shredded by hundreds of bullets manufactured in a world away. I don't know if it was before or after I realized that the rest of the gun was missing. The trigger was gone, as was the buttstock and bolt. Someone had killed a Haji there a day before and just run over his rifle with their track, rendering it useless. That kid couldn't have shot spitballs through it even if he wanted to.
It's no big deal, man. You can tell us a story some other time.
Hey, let me get a cigarette.
Suppose you want a light too. Next you'll be taking the fillings out of my freaking teeth. So, there you go.
Oh.
Okay, next time.
Wait, what did you
If you're full.
Okay, none of that at all was my fault, 100%.
I don't even know what that was.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Okay, let's do this again. This time, the alarm's not going to go off. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Alright. Let me button this because you can see my cat shirt.